Hi everybody, this is SAAD. In my last appearance on Joe Rogan, we discussed many things as we always do, but at one point we discussed the religion of perpetual love, tolerance, and peace, and specifically its views on dogs. And so I shared uh, some exact facts about how the noble religion views dogs, especially with a special fondness to black dogs. And then some people started letting me, tagging me, letting me know that either folks are putting up clips saying what a liar I am. I mean, here's a Jew commenting about the noble religion. How can we trust him? He's a liar. And basically, the rebuttal to my position was a very persuasive, he's a liar, Jew, Jew, which is very convincing. Now, there's this new thing, I'd like you to kind of brace yourself. It's called Google. I think that's how you pronounce it, Google. It's Google, where you can go and just enter things that you want to search, and then in a magical, divine way, it can share with you some knowledge about any issue you want. And so now, of course, I grew up in the Middle East. Arabic is my mother tongue. Some of the people who were attacking me said, how could you trust this guy? Not only is he not Jewish, but he doesn't speak Arabic, which is absolutely true, other than the fact that Arabic is my mother tongue. But in any case, so I just here pulled, as some of you may know, there is three foundational canonical sources in the noble religion. There is the Quran, there's the Hadith, and then there is the Sirah, the biography of Muhammad. So here's some good stuff from the Hadith, and I won't get into a whole theological thing. I'll just quote two of them for you. This is from Bukhari, volume 4, number 540, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Wow, I seem to have a really good accent in Arabic for a guy who doesn't speak Arabic. Allah's apostle ordered that the dogs should be killed. This could be a misunderstanding. He might have not meant killed. He might have meant killed with love, killed with caresses, all of those possibilities. Then there is Abu Dawood, number 2839. Abd Allah bi Mukhaffal reported the apostle of Allah as saying, were dogs not a species of creature, I should command that they all be killed, but kill every pure black one. My goodness, it seems like I really lied about the love of dogs and black ones. Now, of course, as I said, I am from the Middle East. I've got endless experience as someone who's lived on this planet for 54 years regarding these realities. I could cite another 13 trillion cases, but apparently I'm just a Jew who lies. A Jew who doesn't speak Arabic and who lies. Let me share with you some other facts here. Here is from Islam Question and Answer. The General Supervisor is Sheikh Muhammad Salih al-Munajjid. Dear sirs, I'm confused as to the position of the dog in Islam. I thought that it was najis. Najis means impure, and dogs are massively najis in Islam. So I thought that what is najis is the nose, saliva, and that no other parts of the dog is najis except when it is wet. I also understood that keeping a dog as guard dog is not haram. However, in Malaysia, there is a very strong aversion to the dog amongst Muslim communities. Wait a minute, that can't be right. To the extent that even in educational religious books produced from this country condemns the dog as najis throughout and haram to keep. I hope you can clarify this. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. That can't be right. This guy must be an Islamophobe. Here's the response. Praise be to Allah. The fuqaha are agreed that it is not permitted to keep a dog unless it is for a purpose like hunting or guarding property or other uses that are not contrary to the Sharia. The Prophet, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, said, whoever keeps a dog except for a dog for herding, hunting, or farming, his reward will decrease by 1 qira'at every day. In other words, his reward is lessened. His divine reward, if you'd like, is lessened if he keeps a dog. So keeping a dog is not a good thing in Islam. As regards to the najasa, the impurity of the dog, the Shahafi and Hanbali uh, ulama, like the different schools of Islamic jurisprudence, say that the whole dog is essentially najis, impure. And it goes on, and then he says, we must ensure that Muslims continue to be averse to dogs even in the midst of what the kuffar are used to do and what Muslims have adopted of their habits. This is coming from an Islamic source, from a sheikh, an Islamic scholar. But no, bruh, it's probably Islamophobia. Now here is an article from Associated Press. Saudi Arabia bans dogs. Islamic police prohibit sales of dogs and cats, says pets are evil, Western influence. This must be an misunderstanding because, Saudi Arabia, they don't really understand Islam, bruh. Now, if you don't like the Sunni version, we can go to Iran, which is the epitome of Shia Islam. And here it says, so this is another article. I'll put all the links to all of these in the description. So much for a man's best friend. Iran bans dog walking in public and warn animals could be arrested if caught outside. And then it goes on. So in Saudi Arabia, they're banned. In Iran, they're banned. I just read you a thing from Malaysia where we're told that dogs are detested. I gave you exact edicts in the hadith regarding what Muhammad thought we should do with dogs, and especially black ones. And I could give you another 13 trillion pieces of evidence, but I'm just a Jew liar who doesn't speak Arabic. Just to give you two other broad examples of the 13 trillion additional examples that I could offer, there is a growing number of cab drivers who refuse to allow passengers who are accompanied by dogs to come into their cabs, and the cab drivers are from the Muslim faith, and they usually reference their Islamic faith for not letting the dogs into their cab. And in some cases, the dogs in question were seeing eye dogs for people who were blind. And of course, this raises the question of the smashing of, quote, religious freedom, and another ideal, and that is to treat people who have certain challenges, certain handicaps, with due respect. And so who wins in that battle? And of course, in a just society, your religious freedom should not supersede the right of people who are blind to be able to go about their daily business. But my point here is that there are many cases of cab drivers who refused entry into their cab because of their aversion to dogs. And those cab drivers come from many, many different cultures. The only thing that unites them is their faith. But bruh, you're a Jew, you must be lying. There's also cases in the West where if you walk your dog next to a mosque, you won't be treated with all the love, peace, and tolerance that we've come to expect. But I'm sure I'm probably making those examples up. So in other words, what I'm trying to say here is, it truly amazes me how in the era of infinite knowledge that's available at our fingertips, that people could be so intellectually dishonest as to simply say that I must be lying and making the whole thing up about dogs, when all it takes is literally 14 nanoseconds for you to decide whether every single syllable that I said, in this case on the Joe Rogan show, is veridical or not. Fight against this kind of encroachment. Don't let people get away with injuries to the truth. When I weigh in on something, I weigh in with all of the righteous indignation that you see me exhibiting, because I care about the truth. And the truth is that dogs are not particularly welcome in that particular religion. Now, I should mention, I lived in a section in Montreal many years ago where there were tons of Hasidic Jews. And I can promise you that the Hasidic Jews were incredibly aversive to, at the time we only had one dog, a black dog. They would literally cross the street to avoid coming in contact. So it's not as though the aversion to dogs is restricted to one group. I'm not suggesting that. But there are very clear, canonical, genocidal hatred of dogs in general and black dogs in particular, as I exactly explained on Joe Rogan. And not a single syllable of what I said is incorrect. And yet people who have zero human dignity, who have zero intellectual honesty, can dare write, but I mean, he's a Jew. How could he comment on Islam? I mean, imagine the irony of that. Not only are they lying, but they're exhibiting their unbelievable genocidal Jew hatred. But of course, Islam loves the Jews. Slowly we inch to the abyss of infinite lunacy. Cheers.